Assalamu alaikum and selamat sejahtera. Thank you for tuning in to this video program. This video program is an initiative by UTMLead in collaboration with CIDU and QRIM and is part of the UTMLead Roadshow program. The purpose of the UTMLead Roadshow is to provide a refresher on outcome-based education or OBE and to share some important developments related to teaching and learning in the university. This video program will consist of 4 parts. The first part will provide a refresher on the fundamentals of OBE, basically the whats and the whys of OBE. This will be followed by the second part, which will explain about constructive alignment. Constructive alignment is an integral part of the OBE process. The second part will also touch upon assessment, including alternative assessment. The third part provides an exposure to the 21st century teaching and learning delivery methods known as NALI practices in UTM. The third part will also explain the Teaching Excellence System or TESS, which has been developed in line with the teaching track requirements. The final part of the video will enlighten you on the Future Ready Educators or FREE Free Framework. The Free Framework is aimed to provide a support system for teaching and learning delivery for the future 4IR-ready flexible curriculum. We truly hope that this video program will benefit UTM academic staff in the pursuit of teaching and learning excellence. Assalamu alaikum and selamat sejahtera. The first part of this video program will provide a refresher on outcome-based education or OBE. At the end of this video, it is hoped that you will be able to share with your colleagues and students on the concept and importance of OBE in higher education. Before we go into the whats and the whys of OBE, let us first take a look at the meaning of education. The early philosophers regard education as a means to make an individual civilized, refined, cultured, and educated. They relate education to justice, virtues, moral, and happiness in life. According to the great Muslim philosopher Imam Ghazali, the knowledge gained as a result of education should be useful both for individual and the society. This goes to say that the aim of education would be character building of individuals so that one could differentiate between good and evil. The Malaysian national education philosophy is very clear in its focus to develop the potential of individuals in a holistic and integrated manner so as to produce individuals who are intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, and physically balanced and harmonious, based on a firm belief in and devotion to God. The underlying principles and goals of the national education philosophy encourages the development of balanced, well-rounded, trained and skilled individuals who cherish the national aspiration for unity. Now that we have an idea of what education is, so what is then outcome-based education or OBE? As we know, rapid technological advancement in the 21st century changes the way we live and the way we do business. But what about education? Business as usual will not get us there. Education as usual will not get us there. And so, OBE grew out of the concern that the education system cannot adequately prepare students for life and work in the 21st century. So what is an outcome? Is it a degree, transcript, or thesis? Outcomes in learning refer to what learners are able to do at the end of the learning experience. It is what the students should be able to do, and outcomes are usually expressed as knowledge, skills, or attitudes. The outcomes are assessed and evaluated through various measurement tools. OBE embodies the idea that the best way to learn is to first determine what needs to be achieved. Once the end goal or outcome has been determined, the strategies, processes, techniques, and assessments may be put into place to achieve the outcome. OBE system is one in which outcomes drive the whole course content and assessment structure. An important aspect of OBE is the constructive alignment of the learning outcomes, teaching and learning processes, and assessments. William Spady, known for his OBE paradigm, has developed a systematic account of OBE which includes the 4 principles of OBE. The 4 principles of OBE are clarity of focus, high expectations, designing back, and expanded opportunities. Clarity of focus means to have clearly defined learning outcomes, explicit and visible. High expectation means establishing high, challenging standards of performance in order to encourage students to engage deeply in what they are learning. Designing back means that the curriculum design must start with a clear definition of the intended outcomes. All instructional decisions are then made to ensure the achievement of the outcomes and to provide the necessary infrastructures and support systems. However, not all learners can learn the same thing in the same way and in the same time. The key focus of OBE delivery methods is on student-centered learning, whilst taking into consideration learner differences. Thus, expanded opportunities must be provided for all students to succeed, such as through more effective and meaningful teaching methods. There are different levels of learning outcomes in OBE. The Course Learning Outcomes, or CLOs, are learning outcomes that students are expected to be able to achieve upon course completion. The Program Learning Outcomes, or PLOs, are learning outcomes that the students are expected to know and be able to perform or attain upon graduation. These relate to the knowledge, skills, and behavior that the student acquires throughout the program. The Program Educational Objectives, or PEOs, are what students are expected to be able to do 3 to 5 years after graduation. These are specific goals consistent with the mission and vision of the university, describing expected achievements of graduates in their career and professional life. To arrive at the desired outcomes, OBE practitioners are required to focus their approaches on planning, delivery, and assessment. Planning involves stating clearly what the student is to learn and developing course content, course design, and assessment methods. OBE requires student-centered learning approaches. The OBE delivery methods and activities should be aligned with the learning outcomes using any appropriate strategies such as cooperative learning, experiential learning, inquiry-based learning, inductive learning, project or problem-based learning, or any of the NALI practices. Constructive alignment, which shall be covered in the next video, is an important element of the OBE process. In the OBE system, assessments are carried out to assess various competencies in terms of knowledge, skills, and attitudes, which are related to the taxonomies of Bloom for the cognitive domain, Crothwall for the affective domain, and Harrow for the psychomotor domain. By now, we would realize that implementing OBE would require a paradigm shift from grade-oriented to outcome-oriented, from content-based to ability-based, and from lecturer-centered to student-centered. OBE involves the restructuring of the curriculum, assessment, and reporting practices to reflect the achievement of higher-order learning and mastery rather than the accumulation of course credits. The primary aim of OBE is to facilitate desired changes within the learners by increasing knowledge, developing skills, and positively influencing attitudes, values, and judgment. OBE plays an important role in the quality assurance of higher education. Both EAC and MQF emphasize the implementation of OBE for the purpose of accreditation. For engineering programs specifically, the implementation of OBE is a requirement for the accreditation by EAC to ensure that the programs meet the academic requirement for entry to the practice of engineering. If an engineering program is not accredited by EAC, the engineering graduates will not be able to register with the Board of Engineers Malaysia, and they will not be able to practice engineering in Malaysia. In other words, no OBE, no accreditation. Continual Quality Improvement, or CQI, is vital in the implementation of OBE. Assessment methods are formulated to measure the attainment of CLOs, PLOs, and PEOs, from which data are collected, analyzed, and further used in the continual quality improvement process. Some of the challenges of OBE implementation are in designing the course outcomes, mapping process to the program outcomes, designing assessment, mark entry, and OBE analysis reporting. This will involve a huge amount of data. In the effort to address this issue, the university has developed an online OBE analysis system. The main motivation is to have a one-stop center for OBE analysis. The system collects all OBE-related information and store them in a single database. Since data is stored in a single repository, the OBE analysis and reporting for all students and programs become a simple task. In essence, OBE is an education philosophy that focuses on the graduate attributes or outcomes after completing an academic program. Employing the backward design, the desired outcomes are determined first, and the program curriculum, teaching and learning methodology, and supporting facilities are designed to support the intended outcomes. Constructive alignment is an important element of the OBE process. But most importantly, OBE is about student-centered learning. The students' achievements of the outcomes are measured during the course of the study and after the students have graduated and work in the industry. During the course of the program, various measurement methods are used to gauge the level of the outcomes that have been attained by the students. Various measures are then applied in order to further improve the attainment of the outcomes. This forms the basis of continual quality improvement, or CQI, in the implementation of OBE. I do hope that you now have a good general overview of OBE implementation in the university. I also hope that you will be able to share with your colleagues and students on the concept and importance of OBE in higher education. Thank you, and please stay tuned to the second part of the video program on constructive alignment and assessment.